welcome to my little corner. This video is more like a little pillow talk kind of video, and I'm just gonna talk to you about things about my life that I go through, and I know that a lot of people go through as well. So I'm just gonna tell you about my experiences and what I feel, and I hope someone out there will relate and maybe we can help each other by sharing our stories. So this video is about dealing with anxiety. I think I started having anxiety in middle school because that's when things got really hard for me really quickly. I've always been very shy and I've always been an introvert, and that's always been hard on me to make friends and to meet new people and talk to new people. It's always been nearly impossible for me to actually be the first one to take a step and be the one initiating any kind of conversation. And because of that, and all the school and the judgment and everyone being so mean and me being so scared of everything and everyone, I don't really remember how and when it started, but I started having anxiety, like going to school. I was so anxious. I would always be so nervous, and all the friends I actually had, they were all people who came up to me first. I never actually talked to anyone first. Even though I made a few friends, I never really had a lot of friends. I always had like less than 5 friends. If I'm not comfortable with you, like initial contact, and I don't know you and I don't really know what's happening, I'm like, I barely talk, I'm very quiet, I'm like a closed book, and people might feel like I'm mean, or they might feel like, you know, I'm not friendly and they just want to like stay away from me because of that. My grades could always be better. Now, this is something in every single class, in every single year, every single teacher, they would all say the same thing to me. Like, I was always dedicated, I was always in the front row, I was always quiet, paying attention, taking notes. I was always like that kind of student that, you know, a good student. And the teachers always liked me because of that. Now, the thing is, part of the grades, at least in Portugal, this is how it works. There's a percentage of your grade that's based in your participation in class. So basically you actually have to be involved in class and participate and actually raise your hand and be like, okay, can I go answer? And you know, you want to go in front of the class and you want to write on the board like the answer, and you just want to, you know, you want to participate and, you know, all of that. Now, anxiety comes in, and it's not that I didn't want to, it's like I had a psychological blockage that would just not allow me to do that. You know, like sometimes I was like, you know, I wish I was like them, you know, all these people being like raising their hands and they're participating and they're not afraid to do it. And for some reason, like, even I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be like, you know, I don't care, I want to speak out loud, and I just could not do it. Just the thought of me having to speak out loud, suddenly I would be sweating and my heart felt like it was about to jump out of my chest. Suddenly my heart would just like pound so fast and so hard. Presentations were a nightmare. That was something that I hated so much, because I would have to go in front of the whole class and I would have to present this whole project, and I would have to talk in front of everyone and everyone would be staring at me, and it was such a nightmare. All these other people in class, they never had any problem. Like, they were like, oh, this is nothing. They would do the presentation, or they would just answer, they would talk, they would do everything, and they were just not afraid of anything. It's like everything was so normal to them. And I would think of that, and I would always be like, I want to be like them. I really want to be that kind of person, and I really can't. You know, the regular greetings that, every time you go anywhere and then suddenly you have to go through the whole hello, how are you, and all of that stuff that seems so basic and what the hell are you talking about? Those things are very hard to me. Now I'm actually able to say hello, even though like very quietly I'm able to say hello, and I'm really trying to get better and to not be so afraid to speak, even though it's really hard to me. And then the second problem is answering to the question, how are you? I still, at this time and point of my life, I still cannot bring myself to answer to the question, how are you, from the cashier at Walmart. I have this really weird form of anxiety. I believe there's actually a term for it, and I believe it's actually called phone anxiety. Okay, so basically, I get very anxious just by the thought of having to make a phone call. Okay, so it's worse when it's someone that I don't know. Like if I have to make an appointment, if I have to call someone I don't know, it's just impossible for me. I will do everything and anything before I have to call. Like calling is my last resort. If there's an email option, I will always choose the email, even though it might take longer to get a reply. I'm 22 years old and I never had a job. And that is because of many reasons. But one of those reasons, and maybe the reason that actually has a big role in me never having a job, is because of my anxiety. So by now you would understand how hard it is for me to think of getting a job. It's like I want to have a job and I want to be normal and I want to do it like everyone else. Like there's no problem, everyone else does it, like it's so normal. And meanwhile I'm here like an idiot, getting all anxious and getting all worked up just by the thought of go look for a job, thinking that I will have to go through an interview and then I will have to interact with people. There's the fear of failing, the fear of messing up, and the fear of looking like an idiot. All of that comes to me all at once, and then when I start thinking about all of that, I get so anxious that I can't even sleep. I just keep thinking about it like over and over again, and it drives me crazy, and I just want to be like, calm down. You have to calm down. This is nothing. You're making a much bigger deal than this actually is. And I know that I do, and it's like this psychological problem that I have. I really want to be normal and I want to get a job, and then there's actually moments in my life that I feel inspired for some reason, and I'm like, it won't be so bad, I can do this, and I actually feel like everything will be okay, and I feel like I can do it and I can interact with people without my anxiety kicking in. But then the problem is that most of the times I'm always anxious. Everything makes me anxious. Having anxiety is very hard to deal with because as soon as it kicks in, it's so hard to make it go away. It's like as soon as you get anxiety, you start having all these like crazy negative thoughts, and suddenly you're so scared of everything, and it's very hard to make it stop. I really hate being like this. I hate that anxiety stops me from doing a lot of things in life, and I hate that I'm not able to socialize like other people, and I really want to be normal like everyone else. I think I'm a lot better than I used to be, but there's still a lot of things that I need to get over. I think the best way to deal with anxiety is to stop being scared of the judgment and what people say about you. Of course, this is so much easier said than done. I think to get over this anxiety, I'll have to little by little try harder, and I'll have to put myself in situations that will make me anxious. And I hope that maybe after I go through the situations that make me anxious, I will be able to tell myself that it's okay, everything's fine, don't be scared. That wasn't so hard, right? Of course, there are a lot of things that make me anxious and that I've already been through them so many times, and even though I've already done them so many times, I still get anxious about them. And that's what makes me kind of sad about it, because I thought that after going through stuff, I wouldn't be so scared anymore and I wouldn't be so anxious. But apparently not. And I really hope that one day this anxiety will not stop me from doing all of these things. To all those people who misunderstood me in my whole life, I just want to tell you that I never wanted to be mean to you, and I was never trying to be rude to you, and I could have been a little awkward, but that's because I have social anxiety.